So let's start with the first thing. We will start with the very basic introductions of it. That what is a workforce management? Yeah, I will not read through the content here while I've written the content for you guys to refer, and I'll share primarily this content with you over an email. And I'm sending actually on my LinkedIn post, I'll start sharing internally with you guys as well so that you guys can go through why the workforce management is needed. For the any organization, whether that's a retail, healthcare, contact centers, banking, manufacturing, everywhere. Normally, in any company's P&L, 60% to 70% goes into the manpower cost, which we call resource. Some people call it as agent, some people call it as investigator. We can call it associates, whatever we call it in our industry. But that's the major cost for us. Now, what is the role of a workforce management? Role of a workforce management is not the copy pasting or the following what has been asked. The role of a workforce management is to look into how do I get multiple things. Okay, it's a very simple line which people talk about it, but the most difficult one to do is having a right number of skilled people with the appropriate resources at the right time on the right skill. Comes from the planning. I need to have the right number of people in the each line of business what we operate. Then it's a scheduling who need to ensure that they are able to have the right number of people at the right time with the right skill set to handle the cases. Correct? These two can only happen if I have the right forecast available. So the first leg is a forecast, the second leg is a planning, the third leg is a scheduling. And while you make the plans on paper, somebody is there to execute that, to ensure that the plan versus actual is met, is an RTM, correct? So in this entire journey, what is the most important thing for us is how do we manage these resources? And that's all is a workforce management is all about. Correct? Any question, guys?
No.
No
No
question.
question.
No.
मुझे हंगल बन के बैठना पड़ेगा, मैं बता रहा हूँ. ठीक है? We spoke about this. There's a first one is a forecast. Then we have the capacity planning. Then we have a scheduling. Then we have a real-time management. And after the real-time management, you can say the contingency, what we have in Amazon. And then we call the program delivery what we have. But in the actual cycle of a workforce management, you may not find all these streams. What you get a forecasting, then you get the planning, you get the scheduling, you get an RTM, and after the RTM, you get the MI, which is the reporting and analytics of the postmortem of the information. And after that, what you get is again, it's circle back to again the forecasting. So all these inputs has to come to each other to make the vicious circle, and all the output of these ones has to go to the next level so that they are able to utilize that information to make it as a better output for the next time. Yeah, I think I spoke about it. Guys, if I'm running through the speech, if my pace is fast, let me know, I'll slow down. Yeah. What is the role of a forecast? The role of a forecast is to know how many people with the which skill we would need in future. Scheduling team job is to look into the right number of people, right employee to meet your requirements at the right time. The real-time management job is to accurately to determine your employees' work time accounts. Correct? And analysis and monitoring is nothing but when we deep dive, analyze, currently, which we say the PD team, we can talk about the SL analyst roles. All these falls into that analysis and the monitoring part of it. Now, what if I just need to skip this and if I to just come to the cycle, this is your cycle, which I'm talking about. As a workforce fundamental steps, the first step is what you do is you analyze the forecast, then you derive the staff time, then you look into how do you plan capacity, then you look into a planning of the recruitment numbers, then you look at the create schedules, Once you do that, you monitor on the real time basis, that you adjust whatever you have to adjust as per the plan. When you look at for OT solicitation, or you figure out maybe a different way to manage it, or a bulk resolve, everything comes into this deviation from the plan. And then you get into the reporting in MI, which the ops analytics team does, or our team does some bit of it, to give you an output that how have these cycles have worked from here till here. Once that has been done, you do that analysis on it, and that again goes back to the forecast cycle. If there's a leg broken, for example, this analysis doesn't share the input with the forecasting will not improve. If the forecast is not improved, what you will calculate here, the requirement is incorrect. Or if your calculation of the deriving stuff is incorrect, the outcome to the plant capacity will be incorrect. Plant capacity is incorrect. So anything, this is a machine, correct? A ganna juice machine, sugar cane juice machine. Garbage in, garbage out. Okay. And whatever you put, the kind of food you will put, you will get the similar kind of an output from it. Yeah. Any question, guys?
No.
Hello.
No, Vijender. No, Vijender.
No.
Sure. Okay. So coming back to the another one is, what are the benefits out of if you have an effective workforce management? Reduction in the manpower cost, improvement in the productivity. You can anticipate an increased sales if it is an outbound or anything else. You can have improved customer service, and you can have an improved employee engagement. How do I say the employee engagement or employee satisfaction? As a scheduling team, accommodating people's requests without impacting the business, is what this game is all about. Fair?
Yeah.
Yes.
What is this picture is all about?
So there is a contrast. One part is like the technology and the calculation. The other part is or the creativity side.
Correct. So if I have to ask you guys, in your day-to-day work, what is science and what is art?
Science
Any
is about
examples?
Logical
the
reasoning.
yeah
Sorry. Yeah, so
yeah
the
yeah. Go ahead.
logical reasoning, whatever we are finding, and the facts about the data that comes into the logical part. Uh, that basically comes with science. Art is nothing but we are creating something. Say, for an example, to improve the process. What are we doing differently to improve it? That becomes your creative side.
Okay. Anybody else?
So, for example, if I'm doing any
Well,
modeling in forecasting, etc., that will come under my
Don't
scientific
read what
side.
I've written there, Hanif.
No, no, I'm not ready. Okay. So instead of that, if I'm doing scheduling or if I'm doing anything which requires calculation, computation, etc., that will come to scientific part, and whatever requires your just visualization or presenting stuff, that will go towards art side.
Okay. Anybody
So
else?
oh,
yeah.
whenever we're. Hey, go ahead, Saurabh.
Okay. So the art part is for me. It's like the innovation. So when we talk about art, it's being innovative and doing something else, or I mean,
Hmm.
basically the innovation part that I see here.
Okay. That's possibly sort of maybe in the word to word, if you see what is art is all about. But on the similar lines, the what is in workforce management, whether it's an art or science, okay, there are various theories about it. The people talk about it. It's a mix of art as well as science. So when I think he was touching on the forecasting, Hanif, I'll pick up maybe the same example. Yeah. Once you crunch the data, create an output of it, basis a statistical model, that's called science, which we discussed today. So what we have done is a science part of an automation net. But how do you utilize that information and you making a decision? If I give you, as I was showing some of you guys a tool today, which we are building, It has a 12 into 9, correct? Which is 108 into 2, 216 numbers for you in the various category of forecasting. But out of those 216 number, what is the number is needs to be picked up based on your knowledge of that market, correct? Or function. That is called arts. With me?
Yes.
So while visualization and all these pieces are correct, but making a decision based on your operational expertise, considering the number is called art side of it. And it is always a mixture. Nowhere it can be a pure data and nowhere it should be pure art. It should always to the maximum side of it. Let's say out of the 100%, it should be 80 to 85% should be a data driven, but the remaining 10 to 15% will be you as an individual making a decision based on the data is what will be the art part of it. Yeah. Now, where all we have a workforce management can be utilized. Let's talk about retail. Tell me, what role can a WFM team can play when it comes to retail? Anybody?
Pricing,
Uh,
budgets.
I'll start picking up randomly, okay? Lottery निकालूंगा मैं रोज.
l-
Hmm.
the
Budgeting,
space
pricing.
space utilization.
Mm-hmm. Correlate your work there. We don't do a space utilization.
Inventory.
So, Jitendra,
We don't do an
basically,
inventory management.
start with the planning. So in
What do we
retail,
plan there?
yeah, in retail management, suppose in a retail business, we need associates, right, to handle the customers. So that we can
Hmm.
plan. Even inventory, that's part of, supply chain, but uh, if you are speaking about workforce and optimizing the work, so I won't say the inventory, but other things like shift of the people, whoever associates coming in the shop to help the customer, that will come in play. And the billing system, like the queues and all, that is also in our part to maintain that. Like in each and every stall, there should be one associate available every time. So this kind of plan we will do.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
suppose there
Yes.
is any sale going on, like Diwali sale, Thanksgiving, that time we'll plan. So this kind of, because if there is no planning of a head count on on certain situation, then like people might not get the exact experience they used to get, because there is a no proper planning.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. So the role of a I think absolutely correct, Agni. The role of a workforce management into the retail is okay. Chalo, let me take you to the last Sunday. How many of you have been to any on this Sunday, been to any supermarket? Big Bazaar, D Mart, Vishal Mart. I don't know which all mart we have. Hyper City in the various cities. We see a multiple counters, correct? Where you can go and bill.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
The role of a WFM is to plan for those. You will see if you go on a weekdays, the number of counter opens are lesser.
Yeah.
But on the
Right.
weekends, the number of counters opens are higher. Plus, similar way, if you go in the morning hours or the evening hours, the numbers of the counters will differ in comparison to the afternoon